back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Guys, have you missed me? It's been, I don't know, this is gonna come out, we'll still be in January, so it's been nearly a whole month that you haven't seen me. Took a nice little break, quarantining, living my best life, lockdown, if that's a thing. But today we have a special guest. I'm quite excited because I am actually an Angel fan.
Oh my God.
Like I always play your songs on my timeline, my Insta story. I've said this before. You can check my tweets actually. I said I think Angel is the best R&B singer that we have from the UK.
You're a G.
And I think you are very underrated. I don't feel like, but I don't think that's necessarily your fault. I just think that the UK is a bit weird when it comes to R&B, which I think is very unfortunate because I'm an R&B girl. Like I'm singing all the R&B songs, and what I love is that you sample like all the old R&B songs.
Joints, yeah.
My favorite one has to be when you sampled Soon As I
Shout out Harmony on that
Get
one as well, because
Home.
I heard that record and I said, yeah, no, for real.
What?
Yeah, get this one, yeah.
When I heard that,
Mad.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And the one with Steph London, I love that one.
Up on that.
That's what, but I do really like your.
Appreciate you, Z.
Do you know what? I've told a few people that you've come on the show. And I follow you, so I know that you've been active. But a lot of people, I think they feel like you're not active anymore.
I know.
Like, they was like, where's he been? Like, what's he been, what, he's not doing music no more? Or is he just songwriting, or he doesn't care anymore? Like, where is he? And I was like, no, he's released songs, he has. But where have you been?
I've made a transition to the States.
All right,
I've been in LA, and I've just felt like over in the UK, for me, I've reached a ceiling over here. And it was like, I can't go anymore than I already have over here. And I just felt like, no matter what I put out, obviously I love R&B, so I don't want to categorize myself and say I'm R&B. I always say I'm a rock star or I'm a pop star because I don't want to not be able to perform on the main stage because I've categorized myself with R&B. Pop means popular music, so I'm a pop star. So my thing is like, I just felt like it was like, you're in a boat over. If you do R&B and you're not doing whatever is in, which is, if it's the grime, the drill, at the time it was funky house a bit. Yeah. When I was having my greatest time over here. If you're not delving into the stuff that's current and trendy, you might not be seen or heard.
I can't have to ask this question. Your voice, now how you talk, it's quite Cockney, right? It's a bit like, you know, if your voice is not heard and everything. It's like, it's a bit Phil Mitchell, like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. I can hear a little bit of twang. But you do sing it in an kind of an American accent, I would say. Okay. Do you think that hindered you anyway? Like over here, maybe not over here, but in America, because I feel like America, they have, you know, their established R&B artists. Yeah. And then it's kind of like you come over from the UK. So how come you don't just use your UK accent? Because it's quite nice.
Do you know, I feel like I use there's certain words that will represent where I'm coming from that I use on purpose. Okay. So there's certain words that I would say that you'd be like, well, that's not an American word.
Okay, fair enough.
But then I just feel like when I sing, there's certain ways I want to sing that the English accent ain't going to make it in that ad-lib that I want to do. Okay, fair enough. It's just not going to make it. And I just feel like I just should need to be true to what I'm doing and say. It's not like when I'm singing, I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to be American today. Right, okay. I just feel like music's music. And in my real world, I just feel like there's two genres of music, which is good and bad. And I try to do the good one. So however I sing, whatever the twang is on the end of it, whether it's British or not, I represent British culture to the fullest. I always have. You don't appear as an R&B singer. I was saying, before we started, I was telling Angel that when I moved to LA a couple of years ago, well, not a couple of years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I fell in love with this guy, and this guy actually reminded me of Angel because he was like this R&B singer, but he looked like real hood. Like, he used to wear his hat like that as well. He had a little bit of a beard, he had tats and everything. And you don't appear as an R&B singer, you appear as like... I'm a G. I'm like a G in my own lane. Like, I'm from the street. I'm a product of my environment. Like, I grew up in the streets around everything else that everyone else, all your rappers ain't done what I done. You get what I'm saying? Some rappers ain't done what I've done. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm in the street, but I've been blessed with a voice, and that's what I love doing. It just so happens that I love singing.
Did you ever find that like a struggle, because you've done whatever you've done your past, but then you had this thing where, like I was saying, you look like maybe you should be talking about drilling or whatever you've done or blah 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 blah, but then you're talking about like fucking around, I fall in love with you, like, do you know what I mean? It's all like, oh yeah, panty droppers, moist knickers, everything, do you know what I mean? So it's like, was there ever a struggle where you thought, the people that I'm around, are they gonna accept that I'm into this music? I'm a bit of I wouldn't say sweet boy, but when your music is like sweet boy music.
Well, I am sweet. And do you know why I say I'm sweet? Not to interrupt you, because I'm not insecure about myself. I know what I do. I know what I can do. I know what I've done. I know my past. I'm comfortable with who I am. So I don't care if I want to sing sweet or if I listen to... Do you know what I say? I say I have a guilty pleasure. And do you know what I love? I love those Spice Girls records that came out in them times.
Right.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they're great records. They're hits. And what does it mean? Because I like hits that I'm what? What, am I a little Spice Boy, or am I a little Wet Soggy You? I understand great records and music. And that's why someone that is not as comfortable as me might not say that.
I feel like the vibe you give off, I have to say this, like you're really intense in bed. Like you've got really intense eyes. It's throwing me off a little bit, because I don't think I've had an intense guest like this. But I feel like you're a bit, you throw it down.
I'm solid. I'm renowned. I'm certified still. I am definitely.
You look like you're reminiscing there. You're like,
yeah, I did have a couple of flashbacks of throwing it down to bits.
Yeah, I'm solid. Trust me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm glad that you picked that out.
Yeah, I can tell. I can get from the energy.
Eyes never lie.
No, this is the thing. I told my producer that I was not going to say this. I mean, my production manager, and she said to me, "I feel like I've been talking to two different people on the phone," and I was like, and then she said, "I spoke to one person," and she said your name. I was like, "That's Angel." She's like, "Wow, his voice is sexy." And I was and I said, "I'm going to tell him." She's like, "No, don't. I always end up somehow coming to sex, because I just feel like sex is an important part of our life.
It's a great sport.
And also, I think it's important in the type of music that you do as well, because it's about love, it's about, relationships. I've never known anyone that you've ever been linked to. You keep your personal life pretty private.
I do. I try to. I do. I'd rather keep a love life and personal life off socials and stuff, like, because of Angel's Angel and Suresh Charles is Suresh Charles.
Yeah, but then it's kind of difficult because the music you talk about is your relationships, or I guess the experiences that you've had. Do you know what it is?
It is. A couple of them are real experiences, but some of them are just concepts that I know that the world could relate to. Like, not everything I sing about is, oh my God, I went through that. Some of them are, but some of them are just great concepts, which I know people will be able to relate to.
What do you think about the state of R&B music right now in the UK? I feel like the women are doing good, like more and more women are coming through, but I don't feel like there's anybody, maybe apart from yourself, when it comes to males that are kind of, well, what do you think?
I feel like it's building. I think it's getting better. It's getting better, but I feel like we just need to keep putting out great music. We need to keep putting out great music, because I feel like when you're going out, or you're going out to a club, or you're getting ready to have a great weekend or whatnot, you're not playing the songs that are really...
You're playing R&B.
You're playing R&B, you're just playing that music, and that's popular music for me. So R&B really needs to be called pop, because it's popular. It's so popular, and I know that is the vibe that everyone loves when they're going out or they're having a great time. I really don't listen to too much R&B over here, and maybe anywhere, to be fair, because I don't want to get subconsciously influenced when I'm in the studio and in a creative space, because sometimes you might do a melody and it's like, you're cool with it at that time, and a mate might hear it and you might say, hold on a sec, that's like that tune and that was just subconsciously, so I did, not because I don't want to.
But would you say that's similar to you sampling old school records?
Old school's old school though. We're in a whole different era. 90s is 90s. Late 80s is late 80s. This is 2000. anything goes.
Right.
So I'm trying to sample that old stuff for the new generation to be able to experience what we had. You understand? Like to be like, oh, is that the tunes you used to listen to? And it's not to say it's dead. It's great music. We were kids and appreciated them. Do you understand? So I know that if they had a chance to listen to them, whether you do it in a new style or whatever way, they can appreciate them.
Do you ever think about like switching your sound up a little bit? Because R&B is still not where it should be. I know you keep saying you're like popular music, but I would say you are R&B. Like I would categorize you as R&B. Maybe I know you don't like it, but that's what I would.
It's not even that I don't like it, yeah. But I'll tell you a trick. It's like, call me a country artist. I don't want to be the king of R&B or whatever people want to title themselves. I'd rather be the king of country.
Right, okay.
Because I always know no matter what record I go on, a jazz record, a pop record, a reggae record, my vocal is already R&B. My stacks on the BVs and all that is R&B. So I ain't got to say that. I'm never going to change the sound that I love. I'm never going to do that. I
would say your sound is quite varied, because I would say Wonderful is not necessarily, you know, like your more current stuff that you're doing. Did you do that because you felt you had to do that to cross over to the popular side?
Let me show you with Wonderful. Wonderful weren't even a record where I was trying to even be smart. Yeah. I was recording my first album. I was with Island Records these times. Shout out Ben, Darkest Old Team. We was recording an album where we wanted it to be an epic album, but we didn't want it to be too R&B, especially at that time as well.
Right.
Because of they didn't understand it, especially how they understand it now anyway. So we wanted to make an album which could be tasteful to the majority of the country as opposed to just this little...
Right, okay.
So we went and we recorded the first album. We was in the Doghouse and we was there for like a few weeks and we was just making these records. And then we came with this great sample, like guitar, Shout Parker and James, Cass, the whole team. And we just started singing that melody over it. Everywhere we go, we feel like we're straight. And it was just a great record, a great time. We didn't say, we need to cross over now or this. I've just come off the back of 7 Minutes Before Time with Ride Out and Max Star and all these things. So it wasn't like we was trying to be smart or clever. It's just, that just happened. God put that on the table and
then
the rest is history. It's like, that put me to where I am now. That opened doors for me. I met a lot of great people through that, great relationships, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and make an album full of Wonderfuls.
Right, okay.
Or, do you know what I mean? It was just something that came up, and it worked, and it was this fresh new sound in the UK, and it just worked. And I felt like that had to happen for me to get to where I am right now.
So you mentioned Island. So I'm aware that you was with Island, then that finished, and then you got re-signed by Island again, did you?
I had a few deals with Island. Shout out.
So how does that work? Because most people that get released, then did you get released or did your contract just come to an end?
Some stuff was getting released, but everything wasn't doing well.
Oh, okay, right.
Not everything I was putting out was doing well. So you had like your Wonderfuls, then you might have your Time After Times. It was like top 40, but not your top 10 that you just had. And then you might have like The World or Us and all these records I was putting out. And some of the times it just didn't work. But what I rate Darkest for, and Ben, and Twin, and the team, they gave me chance. They're like, it wasn't just like this album didn't work or this mixtape didn't work and we didn't recoup our money on this, so let him dust. Yeah. I think they saw beyond that. They said, nah, we can't just let him dust. That's like, I think he's great. I feel like if we get this right one day, it might just work. Because
a lot of artists don't get that privilege or that opportunity. It's kind of, it doesn't work, goodbye, we'll find somebody else that is gonna make us more money. Do you get what I mean? So is your current record label in the US?
In the US.
Oh, okay, right.
Technically, I really have no business over here apart from being a citizen.
Oh,
you understand? And knowing that this is where I was made and the whole culture that built me, Angel, that's all what I've got over here. But in terms of like record label and all that, that's all in the US right now, so it's like a fresh start for me. Like, I'm back at square one.
Because you've worked with Brandy, you've worked with quite a few US rappers as well. Do you feel like the US label know what to actually do with you as an artist, as Angel? Like, they know where to place you?
I think so. I feel like, as I've got over there was a load of different situations that I could have been in.
Right.
Some for great, like life-changing stuff, and some that wasn't life-changing, but it was like longevity.
Right.
And I know where I might be in the next 10 years as opposed to thinking I'm going to have it all now. And you understand? So I've been through a lot of these deals and stuff. So now I use my experience and my knowledge to know what I'm going to do. Family now, I've got things to do and other dreams that I want to do. So it's like, shout out Mark Pitts. I'm with a guy called Mark Pitts.
Okay.
He signed me to Bystorm, which is a sub-label of RCA. And he's responsible for people like Biggie, Smalls, Chris Brown, Usher, Miguel, Ro James. And I just don't feel like, for me, I don't think there's anywhere else that I could be, especially given that roster and what I do and what he's done and his whole CV. For him to want to take me on board, I just felt like I'm in a great place.
So what have you got next? Obviously I follow you, so I see that you're recording a lot of you look like you're doing like a live session or something.
So I've put together some live performances, like we've done like 10 songs.
Old songs as well?
Some of the old ones, some of the new ones, and I know you're gonna know some of them, but I've done like 5 old ones, 5 new ones.
Okay.
Or 6 on 1, 4 new ones or whatever. And just some live streams so I can release one every week, keep some momentum going, especially after I come off this show. Red.
What's the first one that you're going to release?
I don't know, but there's a few that we've done. So
can you release one of the old songs?
I am, but do you know what? I'm thinking something like Fire.
Can you release and then can you put dedicated to Zeze Millz or something?
I can do that.
That would make my day.
Why wouldn't I do that? That's easy.
Amazing.
That's charity.
And then I might just have mind-blown sex to it or something.
You might.
Yeah.
Or you might not.
Do you know what? I'm not really have sex to music kind of person.
You got a high sex drive.
Yeah, I do. I
know you do.
Yeah, it's really, in this quarantine time, it's been really hard for me, literally.
So you got a man?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I have...
Vibrator?
No, I have a person that caters to the needs.
Okay.
Yeah. We have an understanding.
Okay, so it's like open sort of vibes?
No, it's because it's not a relationship.
So what is it?
It's just like...
A link, a sidekick?
It's like a sex buddy.
Okay.
That's what we call it. So, you know,
so like... just to fulfill the needs and...
I fulfill his needs, he fulfills mine, and we just keep it at that. Do
you
know what I mean?
Understandable.
And we're both mature enough to respect each other, and then we keep it at that, and we keep it moving.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Simple.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not complicated.
Simple.
One thing I will say is that your genes in your family are extremely strong.
For sure.
Your brother is in Western.
In Western, yeah.
How was that when Western kind of started climbing the charts? How did it feel?
It felt great. It felt like the next of kin. It felt like legacy. It felt like domino effect on the DNA span of things. This is my right hand, right here. I know we can't see him right now, but shout out to Casa. His little brother's Hailey. Me and Casa are best friends. We grew up red light, green light. Everything I know, that is my main guy. So it's like when we see the younger brothers coming up like that, just overnight as well and out of nowhere.
What effect did it have when obviously Akel went to prison? Did it have any effect on you? As in, like, music-wise, did people look at you differently? Was there any, backlash on you?
Not direct that I felt, to be fair. I didn't feel any vibes direct to me. You know, he's still his own person. It doesn't matter if someone's your brother or your cousin or whoever. It's just like, he done what he did. Because
I don't think I've ever heard you, like I said, you're quite a private person. Like on your Insta, it's just your music. But how did it feel? Because obviously everyone's got their own opinion on this and on that and everything. How did it feel as, obviously, number one, that you're an older brother, so you're going to naturally be protective. How did it feel seeing maybe like some of the
comments
the comments that he was getting online?
You know what, for me, I don't read comments and stuff, to be fair. I've seen a couple where it's been dashed in my face, or if someone might screen munch something and say, look, blood, what they're saying about your brother or whatever, boom, boom, boom. But I don't go looking for comments and stuff. The internet's a big, wide world. You think if I looked at every comment that people had to put on the stuff and that I'd be alive today, I'd be probably jumping off every cliff I could see in sight because of you understand?
Yeah.
I know it's the internet. It's the internet. It's the world. Some people they've not even got no followers that are putting these things up. They've not even got any. I don't know where they're from, but it's the internet. you can't take it too serious. And that's why I choose to never watch things too much and take anything too serious. I love what I do. If someone loves it, or if I've got a set of people that actually embrace what I do, then amen, and that's what I've got to offer. But I don't get too serious into it all, and I never want to speak on situations that don't involve me because of my mission's different. You understand?
Where do you prefer, here or the US? Like, where's good vibes? Because at the moment, everyone's like, UK's bad vibes. Like, that's all I hear.
What do you mean bad? Because bad means good for me, so what do you mean?
Oh, they're like saying like, UK is horrible, everyone's horrible here, everyone's on negative vibes, and everyone's trying to bring...
UK is a hard kind of crowd.
Do you think so? More than US?
Yeah, I think so, a bit. I think that, like, all right, let me give you an example. If Trey Songz and them lot could come over and the whole flipping country will embrace them as an R&B artist, Trey Songz. But I'm R&B. I'm here, I've been out here, probably before you even knew who his name was, doing what I really do. Why can't you accept, I'm one of you lot, we're from here, innit? So why don't I get that same thing?
So then do you find when you go there, that maybe Trey Songz might feel the same about you? In
terms of what?
Why is everyone loving Angel? I've been here
Trey Songz, I rate Trey still. I supported Trey Songz on tour. I think it was 2015 or 16. So he's cool anyway. He's good people and stuff. But if it was like, do you know what it is? When I go over there, they can't believe that I've not been more successful in my hometown.
I like your sound, but have you ever thought about switching your sound up so that over here you can be quote unquote more successful?
Only in a way where, not like on sellout mode, like I'm not gonna put those R&B joints together anymore, but just in a way that I think, you know what, as I said earlier, I sing R&B already, so even if I go over them guitars and the acoustic vibes and, you know, like make it more like whatever they think it is, it's still gonna be Angel. I'm not gonna feel like I've sold out. But I feel like the new conversation is R&B anyway. Everyone's going on like R&B, and I've never switched boats. I've always been real and true to what I do, and what music I make probably is the reason why I've not been more successful, because I've not jumped on any bandwagons, and I've stayed in my lane. But I just feel like there's a time for everything, and I feel like when that time comes, nothing and no one can't stop it.
Do you feel a little bit of resentment towards like UK audience, you know, that you're so talented, that you produce such good music, you know, and that they don't receive it how they should receive it, and then other maybe less talented people come along and get...
It's the way of the world. I feel like maybe 5-6 years ago, I could have a list of things that I could say was hindrances to my career over here, whatnot, but I just feel like there's been a lot of new great opportunities that presented itself for me, and with time, they can't stop it. I just feel like it's written, like I've been going, like as I said, no matter if you thought I stopped or whatnot, I've always been okay. I'm all right. My children are good. Like, I'm okay. I'm living a good life. It's just that I'm back at square one in a new place, doing what I love, all over again.
So what's next for Angel?
So
if you're doing the live acoustic, is it acoustic?
It's acoustic.
Okay.
It's acoustic. I've got, as I said, I've done 5 or 6 old records and like 4 new ones for them, and I've just thought, like, I'm just gonna put that out, put one out every week. Because I don't feel like since I've put out, even like my new fans, like some of the new followers and stuff, that since I've put out Blessings and stuff like that, they've never just seen me like sing behind a mic or do like an acoustic 64. Like, these things are the things that brought me, that made me Angel. These things like, oh my God, like, I remember that stage. So it's like, I feel like, and I'm a singer. I'm not one of these drill youths that are going in the mic and slapping on auto-tune all over their thing and that, and trying.
But that's what I'm saying. As a singer, does it not annoy you when you hear like all this auto-tune stuff and you just think?
Some things annoy me, but it's like, what could you do? And that's why I don't even chat about them, because whether it annoys me or not, the world loves it. And I love the success that people are getting off it, because if that's what time in life we're at, then so be it.
Would you ever jump on a drill track?
I would, why not? I'd do a cold ass verse too. I'd ice a couple of these brothers on them verses. To God.
Do you rap?
That's how I start. Do you know what? I'm gonna tell you a secret. See my songs, see when I'm writing my verses and my choruses and stuff, I write them as rap. and then I sing them. I sing the flow, and that's why it's so rhythmic, and I got that stack thing on the thing, and it's like a rapper.
Can you do a freestyle? What now?
Freestyle?
Yeah.
You want me to do a freestyle? I don't freestyle. I put together stuff. I put together body of
hoping
work.
that something was going to be
I know you was.
I was just like getting so excited, like, oh my God.
You might put something on right now. No.
I won't do that to you. I know. I just, because the way you said it, you was like, I just write the bars and then I
do, but no, I'm saying like I do write as a rapper. I write with a rapper's hat on. I don't write like in legato, like I'm gonna sing this line, sing this line. I'll write a rap and then I'll sing the rap.
I mean, I really want. Do you know? I hate when I say, "Oh, I want you to be bigger," because you're big already, and I think the fact that you've been able to kind of sustain a career, I think sometimes that's even better than some people that come along, they blow, and then they disappear. No one knows where they've gone. They had like 2-3 hit songs, and then no one cares about them anymore. I always say, if I was an artist, I would probably want like a sustainable career where I have like my core audience that are always gonna fuck with me no matter what, and I'm always gonna be there in their mind. Do you get what I mean? But maybe because I'm an older person and I like R&B, I really, really want R&B to take off how it takes off in America. Do you get what? And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the UK why we just don't grasp onto R&B. Do you get what I mean?
I don't know what it is, but I just feel like we got to keep doing it. I feel like there's a limit to how much of these other genres you can put out and keep having that head banging music. And don't, no disrespect to them, like it's great. Some of them tunes that I listen to, I'm like, oh, that's a cold one, that's a cold one. But then it gets congested. Everything's the same thing, wetting this, shanking this, and I'm like, what else, nigga?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah,
like what else? And I feel like you have to be more creative now. And I feel like as I said, there's a new lane for new music, and I'm all about it.
So when are you going back to the US? Is it hard? Because can they let you, quarantine?
Well, basically, I'm working on my visa right now, so that should be done.
Okay,
that's in pro. Before, don't forget, I was going there as a tourist. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So it's like, as soon as Boris figures out what he wants to do.
Have you found love in the US?
Love in the US?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found love in the US. Yeah, that's why I'm over there.
Oh, no. I mean, like, you know.
I got a couple of friends that hang out with.
He said a couple.
Yeah,
I can tell you're a bit of a gallus. I can tell. Shall I tell you why? You're too smooth.
In terms of what?
Men that are too smooth, they're gallus. Do you know what I mean? And I can tell you're like, those personas laid back.
No, but some men are smooth and are donuts though. I've seen enough smooth men, but they're donuts.
Yeah, but I can just tell, like, even when they was micing me up, he was doing this intense stare. And I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, do you know what I mean? You was trying to psych me out type of vibe. But you're too smooth, so that means you're good with
it. It wasn't even that I was doing. Can I tell you something?
Go on.
You got a bespoke, beautiful look. So that's what I was looking. I was staring down the retina with those eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Anyway, it's all over the place right now. Do you know what it is as well? It's because you really remind me of the guy that I fell in love with. Like, proper, he sings and everything. Like, I even told him, you remind me of this guy back home, and he sings called Angel.
Yeah. You told him what you're telling me.
You know what? I'm just saying, like, anyway, have you got any questions for me?
Yeah, for sure.
I always do this at the end, like, just in case.
What's your best position in bed?
Wow.
Let me answer for you.
What, you gonna answer for me?
Joking.
Okay. My best position in bed would probably be a man's head in between my legs.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. That's brilliant.
Always,
you're guaranteed to come in that position. And I don't mind, depending on how I'm feeling. Reverse cowgirl.
Reverse cowgirl?
You know, like when it's like the guy's there and you're there, but your bum is facing him. You know, and your legs are there, and you know. So that's what I.
That's a wicked new one.
That's what I put. I like. You? What about yourself? Since we're on the subject.
I like the wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow.
Yes. You know a wheelbarrow.
Oh. I only can imagine a wheelbarrow like this.
So right. So what could you pick up that's like that? Legs and run with it. Wheelbarrow. Madness.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my favourite one. Another question I got for you is,
Go on.
who's been your most ludicrous guest on here?
It's gonna be between AC and Wiley.
Okay, I love Wiley.
It's definitely those two. Those two gave me my most, like, the interview was like that, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on in my head? Still trying to, like, with Wiley, it was weird because it was like, this is Wiley in front of me, like, this is like a legend, but I couldn't act like starstruck, if that made sense. And AC, it was kind of like, is this guy going to jump across the table at any minute? Have we got backup? Andy, are you ready? Should he decide to go for me? Like, what's going on? But those are my two. But this one is going to be now my top favourite.
Amen. In God's will.
Anything else you want to share? Where can the people find you? All
my socials is This Is Angel. Check it out, man. Go on, if you don't want to see some real fine UK R&B, check out my stuff, like, especially if you want to delve into it and say, like, you're going into there. I feel like I'm the starter pack. Go and check it and work your way up. And not in the most humblest way ever, but, like,
you don't need to be humble.
It's levels, it's definitely levels, as AC said, isn't it? It's levels, isn't it?
I would agree. I would second that. I always talk about Angel. I always say Angel's one of our best, I would say the best R&B singer that we have. Or not even R&B singer, I would say. So make sure you check out his socials, make sure you listen to his songs. You probably hear me playing them in my Insta stories all the time. Thank you for coming on.
It's always a pleasure.
I think you might be one of the first people that have got me a little bit flustered. Underneath the collar. What can I say? You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Gang.
Share that. Bless up, Zeze.